At 18 years old, I ran a $90,000 business. I ran a student works painting franchise. I was one of the top 10 rookie producers in the company that year. With entrepreneurship, you get out what you put in. I can see the people who grinded and sacrificed and built the life they wanted to live. I do not want to be one of the people that just rolled with the punches.
Welcome to the Thought Leader Revolution with Nikki Ballou. Join the revolution. There's never been a better time in history to speak your truth, find your freedom, and make your fortune. Each week, we interview the world's top thought leaders and learn the secrets of how they built a 6 to 7 figure practice. This episode has been brought to you by eCircleacademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.
Welcome to another exciting episode of the podcast, The Thought Leader Revolution. I'm your host, Nikki Ballou, and boy, do we have an exciting guest lined up for you today. Today's guest is a brother from another mother. He is one of my star clients in my exclusive mastermind, eCircle Academy. This is a man who's taken the coaching and has massively increased his business by well over 6 figures. He's poised to have his first ever 7-figure year. I am speaking, of course, of none other than the one, the only, the legendary Michael Cappa.
Thanks for having me, Nikki. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good to have you here, brother. Good to have you here. So, Cappa, you're a young man. You're under 30 years old, and yet you're kicking ass and you're taking names. You're not one of these dudes that's sitting around on the couch, playing video games, smoking weed, and laughing at funny crap on the doom scroll feed. You're actually growing a successful business. So tell us your backstory, man. What had you go down this path rather than the other path?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you acknowledging that. So I got to give major kudos to my folks. My folks they're very open-minded people, but they're also very old school. So they raised my siblings and I with some solid traditional values, like maintaining our commitments and being respectful and always being open to new opportunities. So in everything that I've always done, from childhood to present day, everything has always been, we talked about this at our men's meeting the other day. If you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. And that's always been my attitude, and it always will be my attitude.
Your attitude determines your altitude.
I love that Jim Rohn quote. So back when I was 15, I had this paper route. And, Nikki, unlike most teenagers who just sit on their hands and roll with the punches, I was out there, man. I had 3 part-time jobs. I was cutting lawns. I was delivering papers. And then I had this customer of mine one summer say, "Hey, Cap, how would you like to paint my fence?" And I said, "Sure, why not?" And man, working through that sweltering 30-degree summer heat, holy hell. And this was like a seasoned engineer, trades guy just drilling into me like, "You're holding the paintbrush too daintily." And, I was just a little bit of a naive, ignorant kid, but by the end of the experience, I was actually a pretty decent painter. So fast forward to 18, I ran a student works painting franchise. And Nikki, I was one of the top 10 rookie producers in the company that year.
Boom.
At 18 years old, I ran a $90,000 business.
Chris, right? He's the head of that organization, right?
Chris Thompson, that's right.
Yeah, Chris Thompson, yeah. That was his last name. It escaped me for a second. Yeah, I interviewed him on the Thought Leader Revolution podcast a few years back.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll have to find that one.
Yeah.
So the reason why I am the way I am, Nikki, is because with entrepreneurship, it's one of those things you get out what you put in. And between my paper route, my paper route gave me agency, man. Like the drum set you see in the video feed behind me here, that was not happenstance. I actually purchased that drum set when I was 17 years old with my paper route money.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That doesn't look cheap.
It's not. And although I was very privileged growing up, my parents also couldn't give my siblings and I everything. They did make a lot of sacrifices, but we had to meet them halfway. That was part of the deal. And that's what those part-time jobs growing up gave me was I paid for my boxing, I paid for my drum set. When I did that Student Works painting franchise, it was very powerful. And I was able to pay for most of my second year of school from that one successful summer running that painting franchise. So I was like, man, this entrepreneurship thing, like I just felt like I didn't want to let my foot off the gas. And then I decided to stick with my degree and finish her up because I was really interested in, I was studying policy and communications at the time, and I really love learning how things work. And especially in the context of running a business, there's so many things that go into running a business, as you know.
They do.
So I decided to start my own painting business in May of 2018. And honestly, man, I've just been jetting since like 8 years ago. And I think I play hard and I work like I'm just always on the go, moving and grooving because I have been in those low lows of, doom scrolling or smoking too much pot or doing things that are very unproductive and being in and out of people's homes all the time with my painting business. I can see the people who grinded and sacrificed and built the life they wanted to live. And I could see the people who just kind of sat on their hands and rolled with the punches. I do not want to be one of the people that just rolled with the punches.
You know what, brother? Grinding versus rolling. That's the truth of the choice that faces most human beings, right? And it's powerful to hear you share your story. Very, very powerful. So tell me why, I mean, you're in the painting space, right? You really do a great job of serving your clients, but I know you've got something on your heart that has you have a vision beyond having a multi-million-dollar painting company. Why don't you share with us what that is?
Yeah, absolutely. This is becoming more, it's funny how the universe works this way. I want to get more young people into the trades, and I want to help people who are getting into the trades or starting their own business really take off and collapse those timelines and become more successful sooner. The reason I say the way the universe works is interesting is because just last week, like we're in the first calendar week of 2026, and I've already had other trades guys in my network calling me, "Hey Cap, how do you do this? Hey, can we have a meeting? Like I'm basically kind of sort of becoming known as the expert in my field in my immediate network, and everyone's starting to seek my advice and my professional success. And Nikki, that's with the people who are already running their businesses and they want to elevate. But, I think what you were asking was, how do we get more young men who, women too. I see young women entering the trades, but I think people in general, young people need purpose. They need a vision. And the trades is an amazing vehicle for young people to learn how to grow and magnify who they are and actualize their vision and their goals. And the same way I have with my business the last 8 years, I want to help someone who's in my shoes use a trades business as a vehicle to grow themselves and their world.
Trades used to be looked down upon by most people when they were coming out of school, right? They're like, oh yeah, that's if you don't have other choices. That's if you didn't go to school and get a big degree. But that's not true anymore because so few people are going into trade, and the demand for the services that the trades provide has skyrocketed, like absolutely skyrocketed. And for the next, 20 to 40 years, it's unlikely that demand is going to abate. And in fact, if anything, that demand is going to increase. The opportunities for people going into trades right now are tremendous. And if you're smart, you'll go into trades. And if you're very smart, you'll go into trades and you'll build a business where you're not the one doing the work, where other people are doing the work. You're the one getting the business. And that way you can scale and expand that trades business and make quite a wonderful living for yourself. And I know that's a big part of your vision. Tell me why you think it'd be smart for young people to have this be a part of their vision. And talk to me about the type of speaking and coaching you're looking to do in this regard.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing my mother told me when I was in high school was do what you love. because there comes a crossroads when you're picking courses and you got to figure out the game plan for college, university, and all the courses you got to do that lead you up to where you're eventually going in life. And I was at this crossroads, and my mother just said, you know what? Do what you love, do what you're interested in. And that's exactly what I did. And my path led me to pursue a degree in policy. And while I was doing that, I stumbled upon running a student painting business one summer. And then now I'm in the world of painting. So the first thing I would say is pursue what you feel is right and what you are interested in, because you never know who you're going to meet along the way and what opportunities are going to come to it or come from it. The next thing I would say is a trades business is a very powerful vehicle for building yourself as an entrepreneur and eventually getting into other lines of work in the future, because I'll give you a prime example. So I've been doing this for 8 years now. Yeah. And the past few years, I've been really leaning into working with a lot more realtors. And I've noticed and identified that as I've been becoming the preferred painter at all these brokerages, that realtors are starving for good tradespeople. There's so many people that are involved with getting a house ready to sell. And the realtor is kind of like a general contractor with organizing all of these people, like the painter, the cleaner, the photographer, and so forth. Yeah. And so realtors are starving for good talent, and good talent like myself and my team and some of my fellow tradespeople, we are looking for solid long-term strategic partnerships. So to answer your question there, what I've identified is that, a lot of these like pseudo consulting calls I've been having pro bono the past couple months have been my fellow tradespeople calling me saying, hey, Cappa, you are super savvy at becoming the go-to painter with all these realtors. How are you doing it? And I've identified a coaching opportunity. So that's just one niche coaching opportunity is I figured out, okay, these are the things that a realtor is looking for. So when I go to speak at these brokerages now to build a relationship with my company and my service, I can also sort of do a consult, like this is it. I have this in mind is also doing like seminars with them about coaching them on what to look for in solid tradespeople and service providers. And then on the service provider side is coaching the service providers on, hey, this is what realtors are looking for. This is how you market yourself and you best show up and get on their power team. And that all came to kind of wrap this in a beautiful bow. That all came from me pursuing this painting business and just saying, hey, I have this idea that I want to work with more realtors because I had this self-limiting belief that you're helping me close up here is my winters are always slow. The phone's always got to be ringing. Not anymore. So there was that. That's the one area of coaching. And then also why we're here talking today is I've noticed we need more young people in the trades. There's a shortage in Canada, the US, and Europe. And it's like we need hundreds of thousands of tradespeople yesterday, right? And we need advocates and we need spokespeople and good policy. One of my professors said good policy is like good brakes on a motorcycle. You can go in and out of corners faster. And we need good policy that's directing young people to get into the trades.
Yeah, I totally agree. And honestly, I think you got an opportunity here. Okay. So you could put together a coaching program that meets once a month, and you could charge a good buck for people to be members of it. And it could be all real estate focused. So the members have to be some sort of trade or, mortgage broker, whatever, real estate focused. And the objective is to teach these people all the things that you are talking about, plus make connections for them and for each other. But they got to pay you to be a member of it. So if you do that and you bring people top level connections, top level leads, I think that'll change your life, bud. I really do. Because there could be, say, in Ontario, a dozen people in a group like that. You meet them once a month for a couple hours. You're collecting money from them. And then you introduce them to people that they can do business with. And what they agree to do is to give you some money from that. And it's a beautiful thing. It truly is.
Yeah, no, like I said, realtors are starving for good talent, and good talent is starving for consistent work. I think there's a bridge to be made there.
100%, my brother, 100%. I really do think that's a powerful thing. We should talk about that more offline. So you also have said to me that you really want to speak more, and you want to be a thought leader in this space. Talk a bit about that.
Absolutely. So at these, because I've become the preferred painter at about 10 real estate brokerages here between Toronto to Peterborough, I've been, as part of the privilege of being a preferred vendor, I get to go and present at their meetings and be part of their culture events and be a fly on the wall and observe. And I've noticed when I go to these realtor oriented or real estate oriented conferences or even intra-company meetings, there's not always a lot of tradespeople speaking at these events. And
Right.
I
Oh,
have yet, I get a lot of their intra-company emails where it's like, hey, come in and learn about lead generation and how to use our intra-company CRM. And like, that's all well and good. Like, of course, realtors need to know how to run their business very effectively, but very little or seldom have I seen, hey, come in for this lunch and learn or this seminar with this home inspector or this cleaner or this plumber. Like, I feel like there's just such a big opportunity waiting for tradespeople to jump in there because there's so much that goes on with buying and selling a house. And realtors are not only exceptional high ticket salespeople, but they're also kind of like general contractors. Like some of the realtors I actually do deal with used to be general contractors. And when you're talking about negotiating tactics and knowing how to get the best sale price or negotiate the list price down for your buyers, whatever the circumstances, if you walk into a house as a trade savvy realtor, then you know to pick out like, okay, like the house needs some painting. We need to upgrade some of this stuff with the HVAC. There's some obvious upgrades that need to be made with the house. So you can, on the buying side, negotiate down for your clients. And you and I are familiar with some of the wealth genius folks, and that's one of the big things they coach people on is you make money on the buy, right? Now that's as an investor, but if you're like buying your family home or you're buying a home, your personal home, those are good things for a realtor to be aware of. And then vice versa on the selling side, you get those trades oriented things around the house up to code and looking a little better or performing better, then it makes the sale of the house a lot more turnkey. So realtors can really benefit from having a little bit more trades education, is what I'm saying.
you know what, brother? It's a beautiful thing. It truly is to have a realtor understand how to pick the right people to help them. And they are definitely needing to have people they can trust, help them get their homes ready for sale, 100%. And these tradespeople should smarten up and connect with a bunch of realtors and say, look, if I have 5, 10 realtors that I'm working with, this can be a great business for me. It's a good channel partnership strategy. So you created real thought leadership with this. On the one hand, you're creating basically intellectual property showing tradespeople how to open up channels of distribution for their work and how to grow their income. So that's fabulous. And it's commercial IP, which is great. And then secondly, you're doing something you like and you enjoy, which is speaking in public and helping people, which is phenomenal and fantastic. And thirdly, you're actually taking a stand to help the next generation find opportunities to live a fulfilling and financially successful life. That's got to feel good, man.
It sure does. There's actually something I haven't talked to you too much about, and in the month of December, I volunteered my time for 2 seminars with the Career Foundation, which is a nonprofit in Toronto. And they do a lot of things, but one of their main focuses is they help women get into the trades.
Really?
So I've actually been using the volunteer opportunity as a vehicle for me to practice my thought leadership, my speaking, and then, to your question there, this area of thought leadership of getting more people into the trades, like this is to your audience, I would say if you have an idea that you think is going to be beneficial to a lot of people and provide a lot of value, it's like stand-up comedy. You don't go out to the crowd of 20,000 people at the arena and use that as your first bit. You go and do the smaller club circuit and get your jokes nailed down before you do the Netflix special.
No, man.
You know, so that's what I'm doing.
It's a beautiful thing. It truly is. I like it. I really do. I think it's awesome. I think it's supercalifragilistic awesome. So Michael, you are someone I really love. I enjoy having you as a friend. I enjoy having you as a client. We're part of a men's group together, and you're in leadership along with myself. I enjoy all that process as well. And I got to say, I'm very proud of you for stepping into thought leadership, because you're not just someone who goes, okay, I want to make money and I got a plan to make money and that's it. You're someone who thinks about issues surrounding the trades, and you come up with innovative solutions that are not just good for yourself, but are good for other people that could be looking at the trades as a really great way to have a successful life. For clients that you deal with, the realtors, to help them more smoothly and easily do their job and make their living. And frankly, for other tradespeople to become better business people and more effective in finding innovative ways to think about their business as a business and to grow it like a business rather than, oh, I do work, I want to get paid, which is a bit of a mercenary, unbusinesslike way of doing things. You're teaching them to think strategically and act strategically and expand the possibilities for business growth and scaling. I'm very proud of you for this, man. Great job.
Well, you always say don't play small and don't shrink. And in the year that you've been coaching me with eCircle and also being in the men's group, that's one of my biggest takeaways is I was playing too small. And, you know, our journey, I feel like, is still way underway. But that's one thing I've taken away so far is I got to play big.
Amen. And that's good advice for everybody, myself included. Think bigger, play bigger, and do some things that are going to help change the world. Because I think we succeed at the highest level possible when it's bigger than about our own selfish interest. You know, when we're thinking about how we make a difference for other people, that's when we succeed at the highest level possible. You know, and I spoke about this at an event you and I were at on the weekend. In my home country of Iran, people are fighting, bleeding, and dying for their basic rights. And this evil, repressive regime that they live under has so far killed around 10,000 of them in a bid to hold on to power. And when you think about the astounding level of bravery those people are showing in going out into the streets and seeking a better life for themselves, it ought to make you, listening to this podcast, think about, man, my life is good and I can be a lot braver and go do things in a much bigger way than I'm currently doing. That's the message I've been getting from these people in Iran. And that's a message I want to impart to you and everyone listening to the podcast.
First of all, I love that. I love that so much. And I had this teacher in high school. He was my world issues teacher, and he's really the one who set me on the path that I'm on right now. And he had a lot of great sayings, but one of them was, everyone in the classroom has won the human lottery. You know, we're born, like, circumstantially where we are right now in Canada. Sure, there are definitely things that could use improvement. There's always room for improvement. There's no doubt about that. But what we have here with the freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, like, it's amazing how we just take it for granted because we're in the fishbowl. But when you actually get to travel and go see other parts of the world and you delve into the history books and you see what else is going on in the world, like, that's one of the reasons why I do what I do and why the way I act is because I don't take this for granted. I want to maximize it and do the best that I can do with the 80 to 100 years that I'm here.
Brother, your world history teacher was a very wise man. And we all need to take stock. Life is beautiful. And winning the human lottery by being in a country like Canada or the United States or another Western country And frankly, there's a lot of other non-Western countries where you've won the human lottery. I mean, if you're born in a Gulf state and you're a citizen of the UAE or Qatar or Bahrain, or even Saudi Arabia, frankly, you've won the human lottery there too, because you really are set up and you don't have to work very hard in order to have a great life. If you're in one of those countries, you've got an obligation to the rest of humanity to make the most of your life and help as many people as possible other than yourself make the most of theirs. And that's what I see my mission to be. I got to make the most of my life, and I got to help as many other people make the most of theirs. That's really what eCircle is all about. You take the numbers out of it, you take that conversation out of it. That's what I want to do. And I know that's what you want to do. And I exhort everyone listening to this podcast to make that what you do, because you're going to feel blissful every day, and you're going to live a longer life, because the more blissful you feel, the better and longer life you're going to live. And that's the truth.
Couldn't agree more, man. What else is on your mind, my friend?
That's it. That's a wrap, brother.
That's a wrap. Okay.
Boom. Mic drop.
This episode has been brought to you by eCircleacademy.com, the proven system to add 6 to 7 figures a year to your thought leader practice.